Hey everyone, this is Jackson Martin in the Department of Art and Art History at UNC Asheville with another how-to video for 3D design. We're going to be making a plate in this video. I'm using a paper plate as a form to measure by, so I turned it over and I'm measuring the bottom diameter of the base. It's about 6.5 inches. And then I kind of turn it on its side to measure the rise, the amount of space from that bottom up to the lip of the top of the plate, which is about 1.5 inches. I don't want to forget those measurements, so I just write them down on the piece of brown paper that I'm going to be using as a template. Alright, so the first step really is, I'll just start right in the middle of the paper, make a mark, and you can use the compass, kind of loosen that knob, and either measure the distance between the 2 points, between the pencil point and the compass point for the radius of the circles. That's one way to do it, definitely. Or you can actually measure those distances on the paper. So we got 6.5. I'm going to do 3.25 as a measurement for the bottom radius, and then adding the 1.5 inches to either side is a 9.5 inch diameter circle. So I'm going to measure out for that lip of the plate. So I've got my 2 marks to then correspond with the compass. So I'll set the compass point into the middle there, move the pencil line to line up with that bottom circle. Go ahead and draw the bottom circle that I'll need for the base of my plate. Loosen the knob and then extend the compass out to that second mark and draw the second circle. Alright, so from there what I'm going to want to do is draw a line across the diameter of the circle, and it doesn't really matter where you do that, but it needs to go through that center point for your first line. So line up your ruler with that center point, draw your line, and then you're going to need to make a perpendicular line to that first line. So then you need a square like we talked about before. You could also use a sheet of paper or something with a factory cut 90-degree edge, but there's lots of these rulers around, so you can use this. Line up that bottom edge to the line you made earlier and draw the perpendicular line, extend it across the circle. Sometimes I'll flip my ruler over to get a more accurate read on the line, because the shadow that's created from the cork sometimes messes me up. So now we've got 2 lines drawn, bisecting the circle into 4 parts. Now we're going to bisect each additional section into more parts. So the way to do this is you want to measure from point to point, find that center line, make 2 marks, and then connect those. So you're actually bisecting the circle now, again, into even parts, but you're making it smaller and smaller increments. You could stop here, but to make a nice circular plate, you want to bisect those sections. So finding the middle dimension and connecting all your lines so that you have now bisected the circle into lots of even sections that we can bend up. So the idea is that we're going to cut this out, cut the tabs, and with brown paper they'll fold up and actually overlap each other quite a bit. Again, the great thing about using brown paper as a template is you can cut it out with paper, and if you do mess something up, it's just brown paper, and you can redesign it and not have to waste your time cutting it out of cardboard. So from here you could actually cut those tabs with an X-Acto knife and a ruler, but it's such a short run, I feel pretty confident using scissors to make those cuts. So you basically go around and cut all the tabs. I'm not going to do it in the demo just to save time, but the idea is that these tabs will now fold up. They'll slightly overlap each other with paper, and you can determine how far up you want your plate to rise, and determine the corresponding tab that you'll need to cut out of there, because cardboard won't overlap with itself. You'll need to cut a slight sliver out of each tab so that when this is out of cardboard, cut out of cardboard, those tabs will fold up and meet each other rather than overlapping. So just cutting it out of paper here to show y'all what it will look like in cardboard. So now they fold up, touch each other, and you can put tape around the edge to maintain its new form. So these tabs actually fold up pretty easily because it's brown paper, but when it's in cardboard, what you're going to want to do is take a ruler, an X-Acto knife, and make a slight score in the cardboard, so that the cardboard has a place to bend, or that it bends where you want it to. And then of course, once you get all these tabs cut out, all of the slivers cut out of the tabs, you can use it as a template. Trace it on the cardboard, trace all of the tabs and the slivers and everything, and then start to cut it out and fold it up into place, taping it. We've got some student examples of plates that were made using this process here. Like this plate here was made exactly that way. It's not, it's not maybe one of the best plates, but it's a good start, where the student folded them up, taped around the tabs, around the edge. This student ended up making a nice foot on it, and then you can see the flat edge on the outer rim of the plate. To do that, you'll do the same process as before. Start basically with this plate, and then once you get it all folded up and taped, then you're going to measure the new diameter of that plate, and whatever it ends up being, draw out that circle on cardboard, draw a slightly larger circle around that one using the same compass point, and that ring, once you've cut it out, will fit directly onto your paper perfectly, onto your cardboard plate perfectly, so that it can be that flat edge on the top. Now this process can also be used to make other forms other than plates, such as this. This was made exactly the same way, but instead of, you got the point and the radiating lines, but instead of the tiny little sliver cut out, I've cut out a much larger section, so that when you fold it up, it goes up further into space, and I've bent the cardboard, kind of manipulating it into a curved form, so that when you hold it up, it now is a bowl form, a rounded bowl form. And then of course you would tape it around the edge like you would the plate, and you have a bowl. So taking that even one step further, instead of the tapered cup demo that you watched earlier, you could make a faceted cup in the same method as you do your plate. You start with the point and the radiating lines, and then you're going to end up removing a massive section out of the middle, with the end pieces measuring the total diameter or the total circumference of that plate. With the faceted kind of design of this new cup, you'll need an insert that matches its geometric design. In this case, it's an octagon. You wedge that into place, tape it up. I'll just put it in the cup here to show y'all, and then you can make a cup.